audience, please let me know if I missed someone. I do not see anyone here from CAN or from Showa. From RCSC, we have good old Green, Greg Dominguez. Safety and Compliance Manager, and Janeth Washington, Customer Resolution Administrator. So thank you for being here. From MCSO, I don't see anyone, and I'm sure there's a reason. I'm sure it's because of Election Day. From the Fire Department, we have Chief Rob Schmidt. Glad to have you on. Then we have, is Scott Tyne here from the Independent? I don't see him. We do have our friend Rusty Bradshaw, who puts us on his YouTube, if you haven't watched it. And at this time, we're going to do our swearing-in ceremony, which was supposed to have been conducted by Captain Stutzman. So, hold on just a moment. What can we have? I'm gonna do it. Okay. I guess I'm gonna do it. It'll be my first time. So, if we have Elise Miller, Jerry Pertner, Terry O'Malley, if you guys will come up front as I call your names, and Toy Van Dam. Just a moment. Thank you for praying for us when you did, for our mistakes. Bear with us. So I am forgiven, right? That I don't have to think. I'm covered. Yeah. Well, there's nothing like on my way out making the big faux pas.
I feel like having a little angel. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, you guys will raise your right hand and repeat after me. And after I say your name. I, Jerry, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
That I will support the Constitution of the United States
of America and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona,
and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona.
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
I'll bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
Do the same.
and defend them against all enemies whatsoever,
And defend them against all enemies whatsoever.
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of the office that's assigned to me at the posse. Whatever that might be.
Yeah.
Okay, that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of the office of the Sun City Posse.
I will
Faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of the office of the Sun City Posse.
Sun City Posse.
To the best of my ability,
To the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Can I get a picture right here? Got a picture? Do you want them doing the swearing in? or-
I've already got that.
Oh.
If we could just get one with the, under the, yeah, that's good right there. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, we'll try and get back on script here. So, Chief Schmidt, do you have some comments? Okay.
Since I might be your only speaker today.
Morning, Commander, members of the board. Thanks for having me again this morning. I know I've been absent the last month or two or something. I can't remember now, but. And,
So long, we don't remember you. It's been so long.
Wow.
3-4 years.
Wow. Tough crowd today.
I had to do that since Captain Stutzman left.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure he's guarding a ballot box somewhere right now, so.
Yeah.
I'm sure they are.
Yeah. I've heard some fires in ballot boxes and all kinds of craziness, so hopefully we don't see that here, but you never know. Anyway, good morning, everyone. Just chat about, I noticed it's in the newspaper already, but obviously the last few months or last couple of weeks we've been talking about, we got our final report back from ESCI, Emergency Services Consulting International. They do a lot of joint powers authority studies, those type of things, and we were looking obviously at what that would look like if we joined with Sun City West, which is Arizona Fire Medical Authority. The couple takeaways is that they come out with a rating of 0 to 10 if it's a positive or a negative to do this, and they came out at 3.5 out of 10 to join. So at this point, obviously the board kind of knew that. There was more negatives than positives, and they're just still trying to just kind of get their dust to settle over there with the addition of Buckeye Valley. So, and the company that did that, ESCI, that was one of the things they said as well, is like, hey, with Buckeye Valley just coming in, there's a lot of unknowns. We don't know how the money's being spent. There's a few other things going on, and at this point in time, the board is just still discussing that report. They've not made any final decisions either way, but as more comes, I'll pass along that information. So, speaking of board members, we had 3 that were up for election this year. Unfortunately, we never get that many folks that are interested in that, and we only had 2 of our incumbents that pulled packets to rerun. So they both automatically don't have to do an election. They're both automatically appointed again, and then the board can either appoint another board member, or the county would do that. And obviously, the county doesn't want to do it. They don't prefer to do it, and our board did appoint. And our first time we've had Youngtown in our fire district all along. And Chuck Vickers, the vice mayor over in Youngtown, was appointed as a new board member. So kind of cool to see some representation from Youngtown on our board. Moving forward, obviously, is my new appointment is new but old appointment as the fire chief. There's a few things that have always kind of stuck with me and that I want to change and look at, and that's the changing of our mission, visions, and values. We went on our own in 1989 from Rural Metro Fire Department, and we've had the same mission, visions, and values since 1989. What do those look like, and what do those mean, and what does that mean to the community? And I really would like to have that, go through that exercise, get the buy-in from the community and from our folks obviously that serve the community, and then drive that towards our upcoming strategic plan so that we can drive that towards the budget. Obviously, we always do our budget July 1 through June 30th. So we'll be here in budget time, very quickly here. So before we know it, it'll be the holidays, and then it's budget season for me. So, but that's all I really have for updates. Any questions for the fire department? Yes, ma'am.
I have a question on the emergency little black boxes.
Those lock boxes?
Yes.
Mhm.
Could you clarify, because I've heard different stories, under what circumstances you use it or don't use it?
So right now, we're the only ones that have a key to that, the fire department. When I say just us, Peoria Fire has a key, Surprise Fire, El Mirage, well, the fire department has a key to that. And basically what we do is if we get a 911 call or a hang up or something like that, but somebody's supposedly in the house and not available, this is the gray area that's hard, is because sometimes things, we're not perfect and mistakes are made. We've had alarm companies that will send somebody out to say, 10101 West Palmaris Drive, which I know is not a single family house, but it's just easy to remember. And it's actually 10107 Palmaris. And so sometimes we'll key in because we want to see if, Mr. and Mrs. Smith's on the floor, or they had an emergency or having an emergency. We've had folks that roll over on their buttons when they're sleeping at night. They wear either one on their wrist or their neck and pendant, and we went in and they're sound asleep in their bed, and we scared the bejeebers out of them because all of a sudden 4 men are standing over them, or women standing over them, and they're like, what happened? So we typically, my direction is only if we can hear some kind of person yelling or some distressed person through the windows is obviously, and you may have seen us in the neighborhood do this, and we're really good at 2 a.m. with our flashlights and going around the whole perimeter of the building, because we don't like to just key in, obviously. Because especially if we surprise you, you might surprise us. And I know there's a lot of folks out here that, First Amendment rights and have a lot of guns out here, so we don't want that to happen either. But so the direction is if there's a call for service or a call that comes in, that's when we typically use that key. So there is some discussion with MCSO, actually myself and Captain Brian Stutzman, about giving them keys. Just because a lot of times they're there first, they're there before we are, and if it's somebody that needs CPR or something like that, can they key in? But obviously there's, what does the community look for when we sold those boxes? Believe it or not, it seems like we've been selling them forever, but only about 25% of our homes in Sun City and Youngtown have those boxes. Again, it just stops us from kicking the door down, or breaking, I shouldn't say kicking the door. Sometimes we've done that, but typically we have tools to do that. But again, if we hear Mr. and Mrs. Smith on the floor yelling for help and there's no other way to get in, we will get in. So
do you also use it if there's a fire?
Typically not.
Okay.
No, depending on the fire. If it's just smoke, we'll use it. If we have flames coming out a window, we're not going to take time to open that box. We're gonna go through the door the way we go through doors. Yeah. Yep. So. Yep. Any other questions? Well, happy November. Matter of fact, we're gonna have Thanksgiving, right? So a safety message. I always try to add a little safety message. Be careful with those turkeys. We still have folks that want to deep fry turkeys, and make sure they're not frozen and they're thawed and you have the right amount of oil. And if you barbecue or do the turkey, do it in your backyard, plenty far enough away from the house. Don't start your house on fire, please. And stay safe. Thank you.